When most people think about America's greatest cities, they picture giant skyscrapers, famous landmarks, and streets alive with dreams and energy. From New York's towering skyline to Los Angeles's glowing nightlife and Chicago's historic buildings, these places feel larger than life. But behind these bright lights and busy avenues, there are stories most people never see. Stories of secret handshakes, hidden cash, and decisions quietly made in back rooms, decisions that turned power into profit and left ordinary people paying the price. These aren't old legends whispered in dark corners. These are real cases, uncovered by investigators, journalists, and sometimes brave insiders who risked everything to speak the truth. In some cities, corruption lived in city halls where officials traded favors for money. In others, it reached into police departments, construction contracts, and powerful business deals that shaped entire neighborhoods. What began as small acts of greed often grew into scandals so big they shocked the entire nation. This isn't to say these cities have nothing good left. They remain home to millions of honest people, rich culture, and proud history. But these stories show how quickly corruption can spread when no one is watching closely. And when that happens, it's not just about missing money. It's about broken trust, wasted opportunities, and communities forced to pay the real cost. In this video, we will take you through 10 American cities where corruption became part of the story. We'll see how it started, what it cost, and why some of those scars remain today. Each city tells a story of power misused, lessons learned the hard way, and what happens when leaders forget who they are meant to serve. So stay with us until the end, because understanding these videos helps us see why honesty and transparency matter in every city, no matter how big or famous. And if you find this video eye-opening, please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It helps us keep exploring stories that reveal what's really happening behind the scenes. Now let's begin. So now that we've explored why corruption matters and how it hides behind bright city lights, let's begin our list. Coming down with number 10 is Atlanta. In the past decade, Atlanta saw major corruption investigations tied to city contracts and construction projects. One of the most notable scandals involved a former chief purchasing officer who pleaded guilty to accepting bribes from local businesses wanting city deals. These cases cost the city millions and damaged public confidence. Today, Atlanta is working on reforms, but the impact of those scandals still lingers in how people view city government. Coming down with number 9 is Detroit. Detroit's most well-known corruption case involved former Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. In 2013, he was convicted on multiple charges including racketeering, extortion, and bribery. The scandal highlighted how power was misused during a time when the city faced serious financial troubles. It contributed to Detroit's struggles and bankruptcy filing, showing how corruption can add real costs for everyday residents. Kilpatrick's case remains one of the most high-profile examples of municipal corruption in modern American history. Coming down with number 8 is Chicago. Chicago has had a long history of corruption cases involving elected officials, city workers, and even state governors. Reports by local watchdog groups have counted dozens of convictions over the years. The city's history of political machine politics often blurred the line between public service and private gain. Despite many reforms, new cases still appear, reminding everyone that fighting corruption is an ongoing effort. Chicago's story is often used as a lesson in why transparency and oversight matter. Coming down with number 7 is New Orleans. New Orleans has faced corruption issues for many years, particularly in its police department and local government. After Hurricane Katrina, billions of dollars were set aside to help rebuild the city, but federal investigations later revealed fraud and mismanagement. Some officials and contractors faced charges for overbilling and stealing from these funds. While the city has worked hard to recover, the scandals left behind a deep sense of mistrust among residents who felt the system failed them when they needed help most. Coming down with number 6 is Los Angeles. In recent years, Los Angeles saw corruption charges involving city council members accused of accepting bribes to support certain real estate developments. These cases showed how political power could be used to benefit private interests at the expense of local communities. Investigations led to resignations and legal action, sparking public calls for stronger ethics rules. Even in a city known worldwide for entertainment and success, these events reminded everyone that corruption can happen anywhere if accountability accountability isn't strong enough. Coming down with number 5 is Philadelphia. Philadelphia has had several public officials charged with corruption, including city council members and law enforcement leaders. Cases often involved bribery in exchange for city contracts, zoning changes, or special favors. Over time, these scandals hurt the city's finances and residents' trust in local institutions. Philadelphia continues to introduce reforms and ethics training to stop these issues from repeating, but the city's reputation has been shaped by decades of political scandals. Coming down with number 4 is Providence. Providence is often remembered for former Mayor Buddy Cianci, who served multiple terms but was twice forced to leave office over criminal charges. His last conviction came as part of an investigation into a system where businesses paid to get city contracts and permits. While many residents admired Cianci's energy and public works projects, the corruption cases showed how City Hall could become a place where power and money mixed too easily. Providence has since tried to move forward, but history is still part of its story. Coming down with number 3 is Newark. Newark has faced corruption scandals involving public officials who accepted bribes or misused city resources. Some of these cases included taking money in exchange for property deals or speeding up business permits. This kind of corruption made it harder to attract new investment and delayed projects meant to help residents. Today, Newark is working on building a more transparent city government, but the past still influences how some people see local politics. Coming down with number 2 is Miami. Miami's rapid development and tourism industry have been linked to multiple corruption cases over the years. Some city commissioners and officials faced charges related to illegal kickbacks and misuse of public funds. Investigations found cases where public money meant to help local communities ended up in private accounts. While the city continues to grow, these scandals highlight the risks that come with fast real estate booms and weak oversight. Coming down with number 1 is New York City. As America's largest city, New York has seen many corruption scandals over decades. Cases have included real estate fraud, police department corruption, and bribery involving powerful business leaders. Because of the city's size and wealth, even small acts of corruption can quickly become big problems. While New York continues to pass new laws and strengthen oversight, these events show that corruption can appear anywhere, even in places with strong institutions and global attention. As we reach the end of our list, it becomes clear that corruption isn't just a single event or a headline that fades over time. It often grows slowly, hidden in everyday decisions made behind closed doors. And in every city we talked about today, corruption left a mark that went far beyond the people who were caught and charged. It touched entire communities, raising costs, slowing progress, and shaking the trust people have in their local leaders. In places like Atlanta, Detroit, and Newark, scandals showed how a few powerful individuals could misuse public money meant to help ordinary citizens. In Chicago, New Orleans, and Philadelphia, corruption became part of a bigger story, a system that allowed money and influence to quietly decide who benefits and who is left behind. Even in cities known around the world like Los Angeles, Miami, and New York, these cases remind us that size, fame, and wealth don't protect against corruption. Instead, they can sometimes make it easier for those who know how to hide it. What connects these stories isn't just the details of each case, but the bigger lesson they teach us. Corruption doesn't always start with grand plans to steal millions. Sometimes it begins with small decisions: a gift accepted, a favor given, a promise quietly made in exchange for future support. Over time, those small choices build into systems where honesty becomes the exception, not the rule. And once trust is lost, it can take generations to rebuild. For the people living in these cities, corruption had very real costs. It meant fewer resources for schools, roads, and healthcare. It meant businesses and workers who played by the rules were pushed aside by those with secret connections. And it meant local governments that should protect citizens instead made choices that only helped a select few. These aren't just numbers in a report. They are stories about families waiting longer for services, neighborhoods that missed out on investment, and young people growing up believing the system isn't meant for them. Yet, even in these places, the story isn't only about what went wrong. Many of these cities have taken steps to fight corruption by creating stronger ethics rules, new oversight offices, and more transparency in how contracts are awarded and how money is spent. Journalists, community groups, and everyday citizens continue to watch, ask questions, and speak out when something doesn't doesn't seem right, because in the end, corruption is most dangerous when no one pays attention. If there's one takeaway from this list, it's that corruption can happen anywhere. It isn't limited to one region, political party, or type of government. And it often survives because it feels hidden or too complicated to challenge. But real change starts when more people care enough to demand honesty, fairness, and accountability from those in power. It's not always easy, and progress can feel slow. But each small step, from voting carefully, to speaking out about wrongdoing, to supporting honest leaders, helps build a culture where corruption has fewer places to hide. So as we wrap up, remember that the goal of this video isn't to shame these cities or the millions of good people who call them home. It's to remind us all why staying informed matters, why speaking out matters, and why every city, no matter how big or small, needs people willing to protect what's right. If you found this video interesting or learned something new, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us keep bringing you stories that go beyond the surface and explore the real issues that shape our world. Thank you for staying with us until the end, and we hope to see you in the next video.